All right. All right. Well, there's Evan. Okay. So hope we're all learning to navigate a little bit. Big yellow letters, class Zoom link right there in the middle of the page. Get you here. Again, I'm not going to keep you a terribly long time today because hopefully you're getting things finalized for other classes and getting ready to be here in person on Monday. But I do have some things that I do need you to be familiar with before we get to class. And so you're ready to kind of jump in and create. So what I'm going to do with mechanical 1 and 2, real quick here, is come down here. There's a new line of assignments. I'm so excited we're doing this. Which class is this? Gotta remember which class I'm working in right now. Yeah. Let me do a little refresh. I think I've got the wrong image up here. Yep. Okay, here it is. All right, what it's called Elmer's Tiny Drawings. That's actually not the name of the project. That just happens to be the name of the file that I have. And what I want to do is take you into that. And what I really need you to do is become very, very familiar with these drawings before Monday. And by familiar, I mean look them over, question them a little bit to yourself, be familiar with what you're looking at, because we do have to make up a passel of class time to get everything complete that we need to for this semester. We do have a few field trips this semester, so you don't want to get a plug along there. So I'm going to open this up real quick. And again, I just need you to review this before Monday. And what this is a steam engine. So we can call it the steam engine project. That might be just as simple to worry about. And patience, online patience is always great. And it's not that big of a drawing. I'm not sure exactly why it's taking so long right now. I have a feeling it's Zoom. There we go. So this is the first thing you're going to learn to make is this little mini steam engine. It's an include on there. And what you're looking at here, this is an exploded indexed assembly, meaning it's indexed by every part's numbered. And then you have the regular assembly next to that. This is usually how we start our drawings, so we know what we're making and what's involved with that. So as we kind of work down through this area here, this is what's called a bill of materials. The advanced class is kind of familiar with them, but they'll be creating more of them as well. But it's really kind of not in the right place. Typically, the bill of materials is the upper right-hand corner, but this one's not. So we'll just kind of live with it. We then make a column, and that is part number 1. So we find part number 1. This column is not a straight column. It has all kinds of influxes and flutes and all kinds of fun things to challenge you a little bit. None of these parts on here are extremely difficult to create. We should be able to kick this out. Original plan was for week 1 and week 2. We'll have to do it week 2 and week 3, get this all finalized, but it is definitely within your wheelhouse and you should be able to do that. So let's kind of look at the parts here a little bit. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but when we look at these parts, would this be a metric drawing or is this an English drawing? And by English, I mean imperial number system. Anybody want to take a stab at which way this is?
Metric.
Metric. Okay, it's good call. There's a 50-50 shot on that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree, metric.
Okay. Well, that kind of solidifies that little theory. This is actually an imperial English drawing. These are fraction inches. So yeah, yay team. So when you see something like 0.063, that's actually 0.0625, which is a 16th of an inch. So very, very tiny parts on this. But that's a good way for me to kind of get a feel for where you are number-wise. US citizens suck at fraction decimals. We just don't do it well. And so when they really drill that in, you will have some assignments coming up that deal just with that, learning the fractional equivalent to decimals and decimal equivalents to fractions in order to make sure you can recognize these. So don't feel bad if you were thinking this is a metric, because that would be the reason I asked the question, but it is an inch, an imperial inch drawing, so feet and inches. As you can see here, we have lots of pieces on one sheet, and it is cluttered, to say the least. There's a lot going on here. Just for this one column part, as we go through and work out what's going on here. So what I need you to do is spend some time. Let's say we're right here, and I'm going to do a little annotation thing here. Let's say you look at this portion right here. Cut that off there. We have the model shown in its isometric view, meaning isometric means it's at an angle, a single angle of rotation, so you can see it. But you're going to look at why and ask yourself questions. Why is that spelled that way? And what does that symbol mean? And what is this going on here? And you want to come to class with a few questions about, I didn't understand why they did that. Can you help me understand what's going on? And then why does these look just kind of funky weird? So if we look at the numbering on here, we have this 1.125 inch part here that is that comes across down and hits this line right here. But then at the same time, we come down these other drawings, and the number, the space, the distance, the dimension is shown with leader lines and arrows and dimension lines. So there's a mix of things happening here. And so those are things I want you to kind of look for as you go through the drawings, to get a feel of why is it done that way, and is it the right way? In some cases it is, in some cases there are better ways. There's never really a wrong way, as long as people understand what you're telling them to do and they can create that. But just kind of look through and get a feel for all that. Kind of get a feel for what is this item. Get my little handy dandy back up. What are we talking about? Whoa, there. What is this little bugger here? What are we talking about there? This one right here. What is that?
To me, it looks like it's a spring.
That'd be exactly what it is. So you will be making a spring. Typically, I don't create springs with students until the second quarter. We're going to be doing one first quarter. So we've got a lot to accomplish in a short amount of time. So we make a spring very, very early on, and that's exactly what it is. So you need to really be ready to focus and say, I can do this attitude, because we're going to move along there. All right, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here. Let me get this taken off. Now we got the next sheet. There's only 3 sheets here, so it's not terribly complex. There we have a couple of different things on here that we want to identify and clean up. Very relatively simple shapes. The way we create them, for instance, this little guy that is, go back here, right here in this area. This guy here will then do it 2 different ways. And then you're going to tell me in a class discussion. And I think hopefully this class talks. I'm now on year 3 of students not talking, and I don't know if I can handle another semester of that. So be ready to discuss, but when they have you build this 2 different ways and tell me which one is the better way to go, which one you like better on that, okay? So be ready for that. All right, so mechanical 1 and 2. What lingering questions live in your mind? I'm gonna close the share here because you can access it at home. What questions are there that you need answered that we can kind of put to bed and move forward with life? And I talked a little bit to Dakari. I'm still trying to work out your SGU stuff. I'm hoping I can get a hold of somebody today, but I'll keep trying until we get a definitive answer.
So we'll be building the little thing on Monday, you said?
We'll start it, yeah.
Start it, okay, thank you.
We'll start on Monday. So typically we would have started that on Wednesday, but you guys are at home. and you don't have software yet. So, yay. Gotta love last minute decisions. By the way, just so you kind of understand, they didn't tell the teachers this was going to happen until 10:30 Friday night.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Yeah, so that's a little part of why things are maybe a little frantic, but because I did have to shift a lot of stuff around, so that's all good.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that though.
It's all right. Oh, we're pretty flexible. I got seeing some things handled, so I think it'll be a good semester for you. There's some things I was going to have you do today actually, but there's just not enough of you here, and quite frankly, I don't want to repeat myself 13 times. So I'm gonna be a little stingy and not do that. So I think if you just go over that small little steam engine and work through that, that'll be a really good exercise. We probably won't 3D print that one, primarily because the size of it just doesn't lend to a good quality product. We could 3D print it, but the binding of the threads of filament is gonna be such that it won't hold air, let alone water. And so we're gonna probably not print that part, but it'll be a good one to get us into things like the assembly. You're going to animate it, and hopefully your animation will not shove the piston right to the outside of the housing. That's a bad thing. That means we've exploded. But we'll do some things with that really quick, trying to get you up to speed as fast as possible on what's going on there. Okay. Any other questions on what I've assigned, what you missed, what you need to know? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Pasket, is that steam engine for Mech 1 and 2 or Mech 3?
It's Mech 1 and 2.
Oh, all right.
Look at how much I raised the bar. Isn't that crazy? Do you want to make one, Elijah?
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Crazy amount of things. All
Are there
right.
any assignments due this week?
What's that?
Are there any assignments due this week?
Oh, yes, there are. Let me go back to your course now. Aren't you lucky?
It's just that first module though, right?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Let me kind of go back here maybe and show what you're looking at. Then go right to the home. And unfortunately, I've cleared all the grading off, so they may not show on this one. But Dakari, when you go in over here on the left-hand side, it should list assignments you have pending that are due. That's the first thing. Other thing is you look down here on this chart, and they're like the course introduction, it's due on the 28th, design process 28, got some sketching due on the 28th. Your deadline for SUU has come and gone. 24th is review that drawing. So this is how this chart works, and it will link to the parts of the course that you need to go to. The other thing you can do is, obviously I left this opened up for you. A more belligerently nasty teacher would hide this from you, but you guys click on the modules and scroll down through what's available. And in this case, you're going to start here, GTI Bell schedule, about me, how to get access to OneDrive at home so you can work on files in both places, syllabus and software type stuff. Then the introduction, course fees are probably the biggest thing. Make sure we have that in. That's how we buy materials so you can make stuff. The other way to find out what's due is go to the course calendar. This is probably one of the more used aspects in a college course, is to just use the calendar. When you come to the calendar, you will have the date they're due will show up in the drawing. So that's last semester. That's kind of funky. So yeah, maybe if I turn things on, that might be helpful. Do there. Put that on. All right, so here's what's due on the 28th. So once this class is turned on, so you can see it, and I'll turn on 3 as well. Okay, and then you can see the different colors. But what you have here is this is everything that needs to be done by the 28th. So we're on the 21st. So you can jump in and do things early, which I advise, because there will be weeks where you'll feel a little bit overwhelmed in the course. That's kind of the way it goes, but that's good. Okay, that's a good thing. Okay, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Does that answer your question, Dakar?
Yeah.
It's a lot. And a lot of these I'll put down like amount of time it might take you to do work. I don't think anyone has spent more than 20 minutes on the job search. I'm not gonna penalize you for that, but I've just been kind of noticing that. It's kind of fun. Okay. All right.
Is
Yeah.
any of that going to be like, that's a huge list of stuff due on the 28th? Is any of that going to be something we do in person in class next week?
No, all that's at home.
Okay.
So in class, kind of plan on Canvas assignments being done at home and drawing being done in class is kind of how it's set up.
Okay.
So there'll be some homework. It won't be a tremendous amount, but there will be some homework at home that you'll do at home. Now, if you get some time, if you're caught up in class, because there's 3 classes, actually there's 4 classes meeting. I have Mechanical 1, Mechanical 2, Mechanical 3, and at Capstone, all at the same time. So if I'm talking to the Mechanical 3 students, that would be a time you can work on homework in class, for example, and kind of not have to worry about doing it at home. So it's just about being ready to go. The biggest thing that kills students on their job performance in class is playing video games. I had one kid who did nothing but play video games and got himself a whole whopping 0.7 GPA. That's a great score. So yeah, balance your time. There will be lots of play time, but there'll also be time to kind of hunker down and get things done. So do
So that all be done at home as homework, but does any of that go with like lessons that we'll have next week, or does it all need to be done like
it needs to be done
over
by
this
a week from
weekend,
today.
or
Okay.
The due date is a week from today. So
does
the only
any of
thing
it
what's that?
does any of it go with lessons we'll have next week, or is it
Yeah, it's all
stuff we-
foundational stuff. Yes. I don't give assignments that are busy work. I don't believe in busy work, so it's the foundational stuff so you understand what we're doing in class. So you have one assignment that talks about what lines are. Each line means something different, and we'll review that, but you want to be able to have a working understanding of what's happening.
Question.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the assignment that says in class, are we doing that in class?
that one we will. Yeah, that one we will be doing in class. Because there's just no way to make that work at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if it says in class, you can hold off on those.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's just only so much I can do online. If you have the software, we could have done that, but I couldn't get you guys to respond to SUU registration with 8 emails, let alone get you software. So pick the battles, I guess. On that. All right. Any
Do you
other
want
questions?
us, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you want us to be familiar with like the software before Monday, or are we kind of just going over everything in class?
We'll go over that in class.
Okay,
Unless you download the software, you won't have a way of being familiar with it.
okay, thanks.
Will
So
we ever use the software like outside of class?
You will be able to have access to the software for free. You can get your own copy. However, you do have to have some requirements to use it. You cannot run it on a Macintosh. It will not run on a Chromebook. So you have to have a PC with at least 8 gig of open memory on there to store it, and probably at least a minimum of 3 gig of RAM to run it.
So will we be using it outside of class?
If you choose to, it's a choice.
Okay.
So if you get really into working on your project and you want to do a little bit more and have more time on it to do what your design concept is, that is always going to be available to you to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just depends on what you want to create and how much you want to put into it. A lot of people just put the bare minimum, which is why proficiency-based grading is not used in this class, because one, it's no one's proficient in the first class in the series. That's just stupid thinking anyway. So there you go. Now you know my feeling on it. So these are concurrent enrollment classes. So they are on traditional grading scales. So take a 94 percentile to get an A. So 90 to 93.9 is an A minus. So it does take a little bit extra determination to be successful, but it is definitely doable. All right. Any other questions from my 1 and 2 students?
I I guess I do. So with these assignments that are all due on the 28th, what do you like to wait or what do you like us to wait on some of those assignments after Monday, or can we just do them all per se today?
You can do it today.
Okay.
Why put off tomorrow what gives you free time today?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't take you more at most on the outside 4 hours tops.
Right.
So, yeah. All righty. That was fun. That's the most talking I've gotten from students in 6 months. Huh, Liam? All right. Mechanical 3, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. This has then proved to be a much bigger project than I had anticipated. One, no one's returning my phone calls from the state of Utah. So that's ticking me off just a little bit. So we are kind of in a delve into uncharted waters in a big way. And once the governor's office gets full word of what we're doing, I really don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more interest in what you're doing for your project. So yay us. I don't know why I do these things. All right, here we go. Your schedule here. Don't you like the mustard? I don't know why it got mustard, but it's got mustard. Zoom link there. Again, for those of you who chose not to come to class, you get a 1,000-word essay to write. God help you all.
Oh, and Pascal, I should let you know I believe there was a typo in that email.
That probably is because I wrote it in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, it said those who did attend have to write the
Oh
essay.
no, if you're being here, you don't.
Okay, I assume
Sorry.
so.
Yeah, but I might as well scare the crap out of you at one time, right? Yeah, that was one of those things. After the 14th phone call, how can I mark absent? We're distance learning. Yeah, it means you log into Zoom and attend class. I mean, I don't know. Bad teachers get bad habits, right? Okay, we can well on that for another 6 months. But yeah, if you've been attending the Zoom meetings, you don't have to do that. If you wanted to, and your attendance is all good, I would probably be coerced highly into popping that in as a few extra points, just to make you feel really good about yourself.
What's the essay on?
It is it's 250 words on each of the following topics: responsibility, education, work ethic, and integrity.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so fun. But that is a very common first-year college English class assignment. So those that do it, hold on to it, because you'll probably have a very similar assignment your first year college, and you've got it almost done. So score one for the winner, right? Oh, that's me. I always win. That's great. Okay, you guys, here's what's going to happen. You had a few assignments, nothing big, mainly just the start of the syllabus and looking into the profession a little bit more in detail. Keep in mind that we are doing a trip for all 3 classes down to SUU February 23rd. On Monday, I'll have a little more detail about total cost for you. Originally, I had it down to where it's only going to cost you like less than $50, and then the school district said, you can't put 4 kids in a bedroom. You only put 2, and that doubled the amount of hotel rooms, which doubled the cost. So we'll talk about that. It's going to be worth your time, especially since you guys are doing college credits down there. There may be a way we can do a challenge credit for those that did not get signed up. I'm still working on how to propose that to the campus for those that didn't get signed up for college credits. We can still make that happen, but we'll see where it goes. So what I need from you guys is a little bit of figuring out what you're going to do. So we've added a new bar for this project, your wind power blades. And if I open up, maybe. Oh, come on, work. There it goes. So you're not going to get the whole thing like you're seeing here. I've just given you 2 parts of the full thing. One, that's to keep Dallin in control, because Dallin will do the whole thing overnight, and I just don't want that to happen today. Sorry, Dallin, called you out. Got to slow you down. Let's take a look at what you're going to do here. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so you need to start looking at what type of blades are going to get you the biggest bang for your buck and how you're going to utilize.
I was gonna say, did the string break?
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just me too. I don't think it is. Yeah, no, it's
No,
not.
it happened to me too.
Bypass kit.
Wait, did he leave?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I just got moved into student mode. Someone hijacked me.
What?
What?
I got hijacked. It's okay. We're about there. All right. Wow. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Now we can, yeah.
Yeah.
That's only happened twice before, but yeah. So usually what happens is someone starts playing buttons and they don't know what to do, and then they take over host. And that's what happened. So makes me happy. All right, let's go back to what we're doing here.
Okay.
All right, you should be able to see the blade design screen, Mechanical 3 people.
Yep.
All righty. You have a plethora of choices. And you could go the typical, they work great. They're all over the state. They're all over the country right now. Well, kind of just go through and read here. A little bit on aerodynamics visually. We'll talk a lot more about how that works. But really what I want you guys to do in kind of preparation for Monday is start thinking about what blade shape you want to do. And that may mean doing a little bit of Google searching a little bit. Don't do TikTok. I checked that out. That's a bunch of malarkey on there. Don't follow TikTok instructions. So we kind of go through, just kind of read about a little bit about what the curve does, because you're gonna have to try and build a blade that is going to maximize your power output, and they're gonna need to be light. So most likely your blades are not going to be 3D printed. One, they'll be too big. Two, they'll be too heavy. Three, it will take us way too much time to 3D print all those blades. So a lot of these blades are going to fabricate in the shop. And so you want to think about what that shape's going to look like, what material is going to be at use for you. I will be bringing some stuff in that we'll do most of this probably cutting, at least what I envision being cut on the laser. So you get a nice clean edge to it. Obviously, there'll be some things that we will have to 3D print for this to work as we go through the process. We're going to work small before we go big. Remember, these need to, in the end result, mount to guardrails along the side of a freeway. So you've only got a 4-inch base is all you have to work with in order to mount these. And they need to be able to be mounted to existing structures. We can't decommission all of the rail guards of the freeway for you to lock these things in. So just at this point, I'm wanting to have you look at different shapes of blades and just do some drawing sketches for them. So you have an idea of where to start with your thinking and how that's going to work. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have someone committed to come in and do a little, this is how we do it speech to you. There are a lot of blades out there. And I'm going to try and do a quick switch here. Are you seeing an internet web now, or did it stay on the other page?
Internet.
Cool.
Yeah, internet's broken.
It's broken.
Oh no, it's fine for me.
Fine for me too.
Oh, good. As long as 2 people are happy, that's all that matters in the world. The rest I don't care about. I don't want videos. I want the videos. Okay, when you start looking at different blade concepts out there, obviously this has been a topic that's been around since the 1400s, actually longer than that if you go back. Wind power has been around a long time, and we're trying to maximize and get as much power out of it as we possibly can. So just do a little bit of looking around at what people have done to get some ideas to it. Obviously, airfoil, plane wing type thing, there's not much flexibility on that. It's really gonna be how you arrange the blades, the number of the blades, how that's all gonna be put together. Think about different structures that are used. I grew up with one of these guys, these old windmills. I grew up with those. They were amazing. You could pump water without using 1 ounce of electricity out in the middle of nowhere. Amazing devices. So we've been using it for a while, and now it's your turn to take it to the next level. While we think solar is going to be the end all, it is not. Solar is the most inefficient way of generating electrical power there ever has been devised. It is one of the largest energy hoaxes that have been put out there. A solar panel will cost you about $1,200 per panel, and they have a maximum lifespan of 3 years, and then you do it all over again. So if you're trying to put enough panels on a house to power it, you're going to be replacing those panels very, very often. If they get cracked, if they get damaged, it's really not an efficient design. Wind is a little bit more forgiving. You don't have to be perfect to get power out of it. With the solar, you have to have a really good sun day. If it gets cloudy or weather's bad, your voltage drops. And so looking at ways to capture this is going to be kind of interesting. A lot of you grew up playing with these little pinwheels. Not a bad concept. Easy to cut that stuff out on the laser and make it something functional. So there'll be a lot of you getting some one-on-one training on how to use a laser. So you go and cut, test, recut, shape, redo things in your prototyping. Now these are all what we call vertical blades. There are horizontal blades. Eventually they'll show up here if you get searching deep enough. One of the things you would want to look at is change the nature of it, because commercials are always large. And then we start getting a whole bunch of different things now. So when you get down to the residential areas, you're gonna get a little bit different concepts out of those. And hopefully you'll see a few, well, maybe not. Maybe we'll keep it a secret. Yeah, they keep it a secret. How nice. Oh, there it is. Something like this. This is kind of a different, that's kind of what you're gonna do, is make these kind of models. Something to think about is what you're gonna do to get that wind. You need to divine a way that propeller can spin from wind coming from any direction. So it's always generating. And especially if your design is such that you can mount it on either side of the freeway and still collect that power. So I'll give you a little bit more to think about. So if you look at some of the shapes will end up not working because of what you're trying to get them to do. And the vertical axis, like this little sucker here, will take out a whole herd of cows. But kind of take a look at what you think will work and how that's, and then just come with some ideas. I'm asking you to come with three ways that you want to look at creating a generator for power. And I think I've got enough little motors for you guys to work with now that you can start right away on getting these to work. I talked to SUU about your project. They're extremely interested. And so, I don't know, we have really kind of stirred up a whole can of stuff. So the state's watching you guys very, very closely right now. The Governor, Secretary of Education has called me twice this week. And yeah, so they're aware of what you're doing. And we've got to figure out how that's going to work through there. So, okay, Mechanical 3, questions from you guys. Dallin or Liam or who else is there? Elijah?
No, I'm good.
You're good. You excited?
Yes, sir.
Good. So here's the transferability of what you're going to learn is wind propellers run around the same engineering principles as boat propellers. And I was thinking of Caleb, but Caleb's not with us this semester. He probably would have liked to have added that. Yeah, internet's kind of heavy there. Sorry about that, Kari. Any other questions for you guys? Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
Any questions there, Dakari?
Oh no, I'm okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
I have not seen that look since 1983.
Was bandana not look good?
Yeah, you're taking me back a few decades there, man.
I like it.
That's a good look. All right, anybody at all, any questions on anything that you've got that before we call this a day? Isn't that crazy? You guys have a hard time next week. There'll be a full 3-hour classes. They get tired of me.
Well, if nobody has any questions, I just want to thank you and speak for all of us for doing this Zoom meeting and being able to teach us what we are going to learn. I am very excited for this new semester, learning all these amazing things. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here, teaching us, and being a great man that you are.
Wow. That's a lot to live up to, Jacob. Now I've got to get the big guns out. Okay, Liam, here we go. It's gonna be crazy. He's put us on a pedestal. I got to go crazy with it. Yeah, it should be fun. There's a lot. So hopefully you all can make arrangements to go down to SUU. I think I've got enough rooms reserved. If not, I'll take the whole hotel, which is what's trying to take from us. They will not tell me what the project is you're doing now. All they do is giggle, which is really odd from a college professor to giggle when they talk about the project they have for you. So it's pretty good. I did arrange with the Holiday Inn. You'll get an extra little bit of time in the pool that night, if you're into that kind of thing. And the breakfasts are pretty good. We're doing the Holiday Inn Express is what we're staying, not a Motel 6. Those kind of suck. But anyway, we go big when we go home. So, and then for some of you, I don't know if you remember last semester, Mike Zervos, who was our computer science teacher here, died of COVID after Bring Your Friend to School Day. Kind of ironic, kind of sad. So I end up being assigned the TSA advisor role. So if some of you want to jump in and try and do a competition, we can do that as well. We'll talk about that on Monday a little more in depth. Because again, repeating things drives me nuts. So for you guys when you come to class, here's a couple of things. You guys will be getting here just a few minutes early. There is a cafe here at the GTI. You need to make your decision quickly, get in, get out. If you're gonna get a drink, it must have a twist top on it. That means no coffee, then a little spillable cup. If anything can spill, you're then be buying a new state-of-the-art computer. So nothing that's spillable. You're welcome to bring lunch with you. Working lunches is how I get through life. So why would I ask you to do what I don't do? So you're welcome to do it. I think we'll still be in the mask mandate until tonight. It depends on what the state legislature does. The Senate yesterday voted to undo the mandate. And so we're waiting to see what the other side of the House does. Most likely, since it's Republican controlled, they'll undo it just because they don't like Salt Lake. So we'll see what happens. So keep an eye on the news. We may or may not need masks. If you're always welcome to wear a mask if you want to. I am crossing my fingers for the other because I'm tired of going through puberty again, meaning my moist face breaks out every night and I'm sick of it. So there's a little personal thing, right? Hate it. And plus I don't know you without your faces. So, all right, so that's our thing there. Again, if you have any questions, email me, call me. You've got all my contact information. Hopefully this is getting easier than harder. Don't try and do assignments that aren't open. It tends to cause grief to everybody involved. There are really hard projects and assignments in the course that are meant for the days when you're just being, what's a good word to use, Liam, when students act wrong? What's a good word I can use? Butt heads, can I do that one? I'll use that one.
Unbecoming.
Unbecoming.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
Yeah, that is a good one. Wow, that's so old English. Okay. When you're being unbecoming of you, there's some hellacious assignments that you don't want to accidentally put yourself into doing. So, and there's some projects in there. I put in new projects every year. I do not do every project every year. One, I get bored. And if I get bored, I get cranky. So there's always something new. So Liam's class was last semester. They had no idea about the steam engine. So wasn't even theirs. That's a new one for this semester. So I usually make a new project every break. And that's what I did over Christmas. Yay. All righty. If you guys have questions, I'll stick around. If not, you are free to go and get yourself some lunch, get out of bed and get showered. Please shower before you come to class. That is a mandatory thing. You must shower every day. Use deodorant, not Axe spray. That's a no-no. But do proper hygiene for school, please. The air cycles here a lot, and it gets pretty ripe. So, yay! There's a little personal one, and we all like fresh, clean air. So, and brush your teeth. That's another one. It's a good thing to do. Brush your teeth. You only get one set of teeth now. So, all right. Any questions you have, I'll answer.
All right, well, on that note, thanks, Pasket. Have a nice
You're welcome.
day.
You have a better one. I'm still here for another 5 hours.
Thanks.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I know, I am too. It's been a sucky week. So, take care, all.
You have a good one.
Thank you
All right,
much.
thanks, Basket.
Thank you much.
Thanks,
Good to see you.
Basket.
Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Sean, did you fall asleep? Or just freeze up? Say, did you have any questions? I'll stick around as long as you're here to answer any questions you might have, because that's my job. Isaiah, are you still there?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I am. I couldn't get my mic to work for a minute. I thought it was broken.
Oh, I'm glad you got it work. Do you have any questions specifically for you?
I do not, but I am very excited for this class.
Okay, what do you want to learn how to make?
I was just on. I want to become an architectural engineer, so I wanted to learn how to actually design and construct buildings in the future. But
Okay.
I'm honestly just trying to expand my field and see what I'm interested in.
So this is a good crossover because a really true architect will use both platforms. And what you'll do is you'll learn how to do things like design your own light fixtures, maybe your own faucets, bathroom appliances. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot what this will transfer over. Plus, you'll be able to customize anything you do in the architectural field. So there's some things.
Sounds very. Yeah, that sounds very. I guess I don't know the right word. Very
Intriguing.
intriguing and important to have in my field.
Yeah,
So,
it'll help you a lot. And if you know that little bit of an edge, do you know what school you want to go to for architecture?
so I'm going to the University of Utah for my first 2 years, and then after I'm transferring to Utah State.
Okay, let's reverse that. And let me tell you why. Your first 2 years at University of Utah is not accredited in architecture. Only their master's program is. So you want to kind of flip that around. Whereas USU is more of an engineering field, they do not have architecture there. That's engineering. You can do your structures there, and that's a bachelor's program. So you do
Okay.
your bachelor's at USU and then transfer to architecture at the U. You do have two other choices for architecture. Weber State, which is where we do concurrent enrollment for architecture, is there. And then UVU has a 5-year bachelor program of architecture, which gets you done with a little bit quicker. So there's some other options there to you, unless you're like diehard, got to be a red, blue, true U of U. I've been to all schools, so there's some pros and cons to each. But the U is their architecture program is strictly a master's program. Their undergraduate is kind of more of an exploratory undergrad. And so if you reverse that, you're more likely to be able to get through the program.
Okay, I will definitely speak to my parents and counselor about that. See what I can.
Yeah, because
get done quickly.
Yeah, and then if depending on what kind of design you want to be, there's some things we can talk about in class. What grade level are you at?
I'm a senior, so I graduate this year.
Okay, so you got a lot of choices to make really quick, and you're not in my architecture class? Oh.
No, I talked to my counselor and then the GTI instructor at my school, and I asked them what architectural engineering programs I could go into, and they said they just picked this class for me, so I didn't really.
Oh, wow. So I'm gonna let you make a choice. So my architectural classes are on B days. There's both morning and afternoon. If you want to switch your schedule and do architecture instead of this one, that's kind of be up to you. If you did that, I could still get you concurrent enrollment with Weber State with the architecture. We still have some time on that one.
I will try my best. I don't know. My schedule is already kind of tight. I have other concurrent enrollments, and I'm enrolled in the U through their enrollment class as well.
Which
So
class
balancing-
is different than the U?
I'm trying to get into this one engineering class, but it's after school hours, so it's already
Okay.
a lot on my plate. But I will definitely try my best.
Okay, well, we can talk a little more about that, but if not, I can get you into the software at least. You can dabble with it while you're in class.
Okay, that sounds great. I
And
will
then
take.
if you're
appreciate it.
really interested in it, more to put on your calendar. I know you're kind of late. We are going on a field trip on April 1st to Weber State's program. And Weber State's architecture program is a little different than the others. It's more of a, what's a hybrid program, to be honest with you. It doesn't lead to an architectural license, but it does lead to design certification. And the
Okay.
program is broken into 3 parts. It's 1/3 architecture, 1/3 construction management, and 1/3 interior design. And what that does, it gives you a little bit more of a skill base for landing those jobs, because you're now versed in all 3 areas that affect architecture. So
That
it's
sounds
another
interesting.
aspect to look at.
I will put that in my calendar right now. You said it was April 1st?
April 1st, yes.
Perfect. And then are we going as a class or is it a separate?
It'll go as a class. So you'd meet here at the GTI and catch the bus.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. And you said it was at Weber State, correct?
Yeah, and then Weber State's architecture program is not in Ogden, it's in Layton. So it's not quite as far away, but it'll give you an idea what's going on there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for these opportunities.
Absolutely. We'll get
Okay,
you,
well,
we'll get you squared around.
Thank you.
You bet. Take care.
You too. Bye.